Yep. Should be starting here in a second. And you can always go check the audio in a couple minutes. We're on. Hello. We're a little late because we were working on something.
Yeah, you were working on a massive poop.
No, I wasn't. You had to poop. You really want to bring that up? I'm going to throw it out there.
No, it was you.
You had to go to the bathroom.
The Discord knows the truth.
No, they don't.
They do.
No, they don't.
They do.
Hey, everyone. How's it going? Grumpy Waluigi. How you doing? Stone last name. What's up, Foster Boy? Dead Account. How are you doing? Your future. My future's dead, but how are you doing? Basket Case 420 is here. Withered Bonnie. Jalen is boy. And LBG. Laundry Basket Gamers is here. As always.
Laundry Basket Gamers didn't know we still went live. And we haven't in 10,000 years, so.
Yeah, we haven't in a while. We have not in a while. We're playing Marvel's Spider-Man. The real one.
Somebody said they're not going to be here for long because it's only 3 a.m.
Oh, jeez.
You know what? We stay up longer than that every night. You guys should get with the times.
You should get
for the
woke.
week. Yeah.
Wait, I mean, I guess wrong thing. Well, geez, sorry.
Maybe you should get some soda.
What was that?
You know?
Here's the thing, by the way. We moved the stream time around today just because, one, it's a weekend, and two, I don't know, we just kind of wanted to because a lot of times, like, no matter when we stream, someone will complain about it, not saying you are, but and say, like, it's this time for me in my country, and, I don't know, so we just thought we'd try a different time today, you know, something new.
Something new.
Let us know how you think the audio is, because we are playing The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and we'll be talking about Venom.
By Shmebinem?
Venom. Yes. Also, I don't even know how to do this. I'm literally just playing this game. Sadly, this is now kind of a rare game, by the way, because it got completely canned after they lost the license. But
Oh, really?
I'm just trying to get the platinum at this point.
Oh.
Don't tell
So
them.
you can't, like, find this game anywhere to, like, buy it?
You can buy it online.
Business owners
But,
praise Spider-Man.
and I've seen it a couple times at, like, a GameStop, I guess, but it's not exactly super common. It's not very good either, so nothing is lost. Do they like the audio? Is it good?
I'll ask. Do you guys like the audio?
They can hear us talking, you realize that, right?
Yeah, but I accidentally spelled audio wrong, so I hope they heard me.
What?
I spelled it I-do-do-do-do.
I thought there was a comic book here that I was supposed to get.
How's Nate's wife's boyfriend doing? Well, Michael Myers, Nate's wife's boyfriend is doing fantastic. I meet up with him every weekend.
Who is he doing, or how is he doing?
How is he doing?
Oh, he is doing well. I was gonna say, like, I feel like it should be obvious who he's doing.
Maybe Jonah Jameson and I could be
It's
friends
Nate.
if we just understood each other better.
Somebody said the audio is crisp and that it's good. Yes.
Anyone
I
trapped
think,
in there
yeah, the
doesn't have
audio is
much
fine.
time.
Can they hear the game?
Good. I'm sure they can then. You'll let us know.
Oh, good.
What do you
Now I have
guys?
to check
So
it.
first off, what do you guys think about the Venom 2 trailer? That's what I want to start with here because we'll definitely give our opinions on this. But I'm interested in what you guys think because the first movie, while it made a ton of money, it's divisive in terms of how it was received for quality. Like I think most of us can agree it's not a very good movie, but it's very fun.
However, even though I really liked it, I don't know if that's necessarily the look you want to go for with a Venom movie.
Oh, like not very good but fun.
Yeah, because like you can get away with that with things like Transformers or kiddish characters, but I don't know if you can really get away with that well with Venom, because he's not supposed to be like a kiddish character. He's supposed to be a villain, like a hardcore.
Well, he's like an anti-hero a lot of times. I mean,
Yeah.
he starts as a villain in the comics, and then he kind of becomes like he's really bad controls. He becomes like an anti-hero over time.
Though I still enjoyed the first movie, and I'm excited to see the second one, but I do wish they'd make movies too that were also extremely serious and dark. I'm just saying maybe Zack Snyder should direct the next Venom movie.
Zack Snyder.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I guess he actually could
That's
work
some
for that
serious
because he
Find the people
he's
quick.
really a big fan of serious films.
Mm-hmm.
Even when they maybe shouldn't be, but
He could make it pretty good.
yeah. Like, would Venom have a gun?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I actually do like sex better.
No, he'd open his teeth, and his teeth would have guns.
Oh, that's awesome. That sounds like something Riot would do, and they already killed him off. So what do they think about it? The reveal trailer.
Laundry Basket Gamer says, I never saw Venom 1, but I want to see Carnage rip the arms and legs off of a human being on screen. I don't think you're going to get that, because I'm pretty sure it's PG-13.
Well, so that's the thing that I don't understand, because there were murmurs of this being...
I dropped my phone.
You literally were holding your phone, and you let go of it to drop it.
It slipped out of my sweaty hands.
How did that work? You know, there were murmurs of this being R-rated for the last year. But that trailer does not look R-rated at all, and I haven't seen any confirmation of any kind of rating, you know, so I don't really know what's going on with it in that regard. Like, I don't think it will be rated R. So.
No, I think it's going to be rated PG-13 because of that director guy saying he makes these movies for his kids, you know? And also, it's Sony doing it, and they like to be family-friendly, I've noticed, for the most part.
That's true. I don't know how I'm supposed to get in here, so this guy's probably gonna die because he's an idiot.
Grumpy Waluigi wants a second Eminem song. Me too. Venom, 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 Venom!
Whatever, I couldn't get that guy.
That's what the next song is gonna sound like.
It's gonna be an opera?
Yeah. Or it can be a rap, like that Spiral song. It's just gonna be like the first one was a rap, but like this one's gonna be like mumble rap. It's gonna be like...
You're making it 10 times worse.
Venom.
No one can hear you at all, I bet.
Eddie Brock.
If you guys want to see something embarrassing, look up the song Spiral by 21 Savage based on the movie Spiral from the Book of Saw.
It is really bad.
It's really bad. Like, all I'm saying is there were talks of 21 Savage being deported back to Australia or wherever it was I think he came from, and I think they're going to have a stronger case after the song Spiral to deport him, so maybe not a good look.
Drake Jackson says, I think this is about the trailer. It wasn't the best, but can't wait. I would love to see Carnage. Oh, and somebody gave us a super chat. Victory V gave us $10 and said, hey, been loving the content recently. Can't wait for you guys to get to 100k subs. Thank you, Victory V.
Hey, thank you very much, Victory V. We appreciate it.
And Jay needs the self-esteem boost. He thinks nobody likes his videos.
That's true. No one watches them anymore. I got 80,000 subs and I get 2,000 views. What do you expect me to think?
Well, I like them.
I don't.
And Victory V likes them enough to give us $10, so obviously you're making him good for somebody.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. So, by the way, who else said that they were excited to see Carnage that you just talked about?
I think it was, Drake Jackson.
So I'm actually excited, by the way, too, for Carnage. But the thing is, Carnage... I saw someone saying, by the way, I don't remember who it was, so I'm not trying to, like, you know, name and shame here, but someone on Twitter that I was talking to was saying, like, well, does this movie really need to be rated R? Because, you know, the first one got away without it and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, I agree, but you have to do so much cutting around to get away from an R rating with Carnage. He is a serial killer. Like, he's killed so many people. I believe he murdered in the comics. He murders his own parents.
Wow.
He kills a bunch of other kids. I think at like a summer camp thing when he's a kid.
Wow.
He goes on to like develop this bloodlust and murder so many people that he was going to be like executed. Which is, by the way, one thing we see in the trailer, you know, is like his impending execution. And it looks like the Carnage symbiote saves him from it. So it's kind of hard to...
It looked really cool. That part of the trailer I thought was really intriguing.
How do you do that without making it R-rated? It's like, we have this multiple serial killer, but like, is he really that bad? PG-13. It's like, well, I don't know, man. I don't really know.
To be honest, I think this is going into a different topic. I think the rating system's kind of stupid. I've been watching rated R movies since I was around 13, and they never really bothered me too much. I mean, that's not speaking for everyone, but I do think a lot of the stuff that they say only adults can watch is kind of silly. But I suppose it is up to the parents, you know?
Yeah, it is. Was there a nice super chat you wanted to call up?
No.
Oh, okay. I just thought you were sitting on one. Sometimes the chat lags too, and you have to like leave the video and come back for the stream.
Oh, do you think I should?
Probably, just in case.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It's very hard for me to expect this to be good without an R rating, but the first one is dumb fun. You know, so if that's what we're going for again, I think they can do it. I just don't know if Carnage is the type of character that works well with a dumb fun expectation because he's very
Dark.
messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like one of the most messed up Marvel characters in existence, and you're like, hey, I make these movies for my kids. It's like, well, if that's the case, you might not want to use Carnage. Like, he's a mass serial killer.
I also think 13-year-olds should be able to see something like a mass serial killer and get away with it. And, like, have some darker stuff and still have it be PG-13, you know? But the rating system's just stupid, and I could rant about that for, like, an hour. But...
Yeah, the MPAA is really, really dumb. I'm trying to see how you heal. Up, spider spin. Oh, down button. Hold to heal. Okay.
Emiliano Villarreal Hernandez wants to know if you will ever be forced to review food. I can't speak today.
Oh, yeah, I thought that would be fun. Someone said they wanted to see a cooking tutorial.
I'd love that. It could be me, like, doing a recipe, like, or finding you a recipe and then showing you try and cook it. And you are, like, very not good at knowing what to do with most things when it comes to cooking.
Mainly because I don't enjoy it.
Yes.
Like, it bores me.
I mean, not to say, like, you aren't smart, you are. You could probably figure out pretty easily. But you'd probably get a couple of things wrong, and I think it'd be funny.
Probably. I'd like to substitute ingredients.
Oh, that would be funny if you substituted something.
Yeah, I'd like to substitute butter for that, like, Pam cooking oil.
Oh, I want to substitute butter for that cooking oil that comes out of
Scared kid,
men.
aren't you? Too bad you're not on the outside.
Enough.
You know the kind.
No one, Jill one laughing. Ah! Jill one talking.
The Venom in the first movie and the trailer reminds me of the Venom the Spider-Man PS1 game, like the animated series game that was from Lil Cupboard.
Yeah, the
Turn my back on
PS1 game.
people
I actually have a Let's Play of that game on this channel, but I'd like to replay it eventually on my gaming channel. That's one of my favorite Spider-Man games.
Well, what is the name of the gaming channel?
Degenerate Plays. It's, ow, I bit my tongue. It's in the description down below.
It's in the description down below. Wow, you guys should click on that. Wow, that's pretty cool.
So Jill, actual question, how excited would you be to see this if it came out that it was rated R, which is probably not going to.
If it was rated R, I would probably say it's probably going to be good, and I'd be like a 9 out of 10 excited. But if it's PG-13 like we all think it's going to be, I'm still going to be like a 7 out of 10 excited just to see it, because I'm sure it'll still be fine. But I think the comedic direction they're going in is not going to fit the tone of the movie correctly, or at least the tone of the characters. But I still think it'll be enjoyable, and I really like what's his name? Tom Hardy, the guy who's playing Venom.
Yeah.
I really like him a lot, so I know he'll carry the movie again. So either way, I think it's going to be a good movie. It's just not necessarily what a lot of people will want to see for those characters, and it depends on if that bothers you or not.
I like it for Venom himself, for him to have, like, comedic elements, because he always does. But, yeah, Carnage, not really, unless you call, like, him ripping someone's arms off and beating them and saying, like, I'm going to give you a hand comedy. Like, that's, like, Carnage
that is a little
comedy.
funny.
Yeah, but that's, like, Carnage comedy, or, like, ranting about the people he's murdered or stuff, and, like, his whole thing, too, I know they wasted this with Riot, but Venom, Carnage's whole thing, too, is that he can make these weapons out of the symbiote, you know? And for some reason they did that mainly with Riot in the first one, but that probably should have been saved mainly for Carnage, because, like, that's one of his signature things that he does more than other symbiotes. So I don't know, it's just, there's some weird decisions with this so far, tied into the first one. I also do want to say, though, that this does have the potential to be a better movie, because I don't know if there's anything confirmed about this, but I really do believe that the first movie was designed originally to be rated R. You know, like, it really seemed like it had a good portion of the second act cut out of it. Like, it was going to be rated R, and then they edited a bunch of it in order to make a PG-13, because he goes from not getting along with the symbiote to being BFFs with him within like a 10-minute span, which is really weird, and no development happens that time.
If they'd already filmed a lot of those scenes, it would have been really easy, I think, for the company to release the theatrical version as PG-13 to get more money from people with their parents and kids, and then release a rated R version that goes straight to Blu-ray or straight to DVD or whatever.
Oh man, you just talked about WB's wet dream there with the Batman versus Superman.
Well, that would have been that would have made comic book fans happy, and that also would have made families happy, and they probably could have gotten double the money for it. Because a lot of people would have been excited to watch two versions of the same movie. That's why a lot of people went to that, didn't they have, like, a second showing of the second Deadpool movie, just, like, with a special scene in it for them making fun of Princess Bride or something?
I don't know about that, but I do know that they did a new cut of it as, like, a Christmas movie, and that was PG-13.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Later.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that
I went to see that one.
Was that good? Was it funny?
Yeah, it was funny. It was the same exact movie, though, but in the beginning they just had, like, a weird parody scene of the Princess Bride, where he's, like, sitting down as the grandpa in the movie. I know you've never seen the movie, but he's, like, sitting down as the grandpa with, like, the book, and he's, like, ready to, like, read it to you.
Okay, because I know that in that second cut of it, what's with you dropping your phone?
I'm sorry!
I know that in that second cut of it, too, they toned down a lot of the violence.
Yeah.
Like, that was one thing I read. Like, I didn't see it, but it was like, hey, we're gonna make this a PG-13. We're gonna make it more of, like, a holiday movie. So, like, if you want to take your kids to see a Deadpool movie, they can see this version of it. Please tell me if you see, like, another enemy, by the way. I'm missing one.
I think they cut most of the swearing out, too. I don't remember very well. It was a long time ago I went to see this. But, we saw it because my parents were confused by it and thought it was, like, a third Deadpool movie. So they thought it was, like, a completely different movie. And I was like, it isn't. But okay, I guess I'll go see the second one again. You know, and then they were very disappointed when they came out.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm okay with them doing that kind of thing, but it can come off really money grabby. Like, I thought it did with BVS, actually. Like, I thought it came off as money grabby, not from Snyder, but from Warner Bros. To kind of be like, hey, let's release this whole thing and not tell you that later on we'll do a better version of the movie, so you'll see it twice. I feel like they should be more transparent about that. Did this glitch? Is there not a third or a 12th guy?
I don't know. But yeah, it does seem a little money grabby. They should be very transparent about it. It should be like the sort of thing where in the trailers you see on like TV or whatever, they say you can either go to the PG-13 version or the rated R version, just depending on what you want to do.
They could do that very easily and show both.
Yeah, it would be really cool, and it'd be good for theaters because they'd get double the money for showing the same movie, but with different ratings. You know? I mean, sure, they'd have to rent out more theaters, but who cares?
Yeah, I mean, the only issue is if it was too long, but I don't think it would necessarily have to be. If it was only like 15 minutes longer or maybe 20 minutes longer and you just have more brutality in the movie, it would work. But plus, by the way, I'm not saying that this is a superhero movie, but like, can we just point out, by the way, too, like, look at something like Saw, right? I know it's a horror movie, but these movies keep coming out and keep making bank, you know? And it's small potatoes compared to something like what Venom will do, but look at movies like that. Look at movies like Deadpool's another one, like, you know, like you pointed out, that movie made bank, like just tons of money. I don't understand how they can't see that some people, there is an audience for that. Logan, Deadpool, Deadpool 2. You know, all these movies that are coming out.
Someone wants you to lower the game volume a little bit.
Just a little?
Yeah.
Did anybody else mention it?
No, but I feel like a lot of them just kind of deal with it, and I don't want you to, like, listen back to this and be like, the music's too loud.
Oh, okay, well, I did lower it then by like 4 or 5.
So I'm sure Midnight Gamer X will be very pleased with it, so you're welcome, Midnight Gamer X. I lowered the volume for you.
You didn't do it, I did it. By 4 decibels.
Michael Myers misses going to the movies, and me too. Me too, Michael Myers. You know, a lot of the movie theaters here are open again, usually only on the weekends, and we do go see things sometimes, but there's not enough movies coming out for us to go see things ever. That's the issue. There's no movies coming out.
No, there's not at all.
It's sad. I loved going to the movies all the time. There was, like, this one awesome stretch before COVID hit where there was, I swear, a new Marvel movie, like, every week. You know? Do you remember that? Like, during the Infinity War Endgame era?
It was certainly not every week. But
it felt like that, though,
I know
you
what
know?
you're saying, yeah.
Like, you go see that one, and then, like, a little while later you find out there's another release date for the next one. You get really excited, and it comes out like a couple months later, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go see it. It was like awesome. It was so much fun, and everyone was so happy, and like people will go back to school and talk about it, and I'm just saying it was a good time. I missed the movies.
No, I agree. I mean, I have been back a few times. I went and saw Tenet. I went and saw New Mutants at the beginning of COVID, you know, and stuff like that. I mean,
I still want to see New Mutants.
it's fine. Personally, I just think that I think COVID's been used as an excuse by a lot of these companies because they don't want to lose any money, but they don't realize that if they put the theaters out of business, there's going to be some people that just don't watch your thing for a long time. So, like, for me, I'm actually not too hyped to watch a new movie on a streaming service. Like,
No,
ever.
me neither.
So, like, to me, if you're going to put, like, let's say Venom 2 only came out on streaming, right?
It'd be lame. Like, I don't want to sit on our couch and eat our home popcorn. Like, that's fine. But, like, I want to go out and put on actual human clothes and go to the movies and get buttery popcorn that gives you cancer and sit in comfy seats and watch it on a gigantic screen.
Very dark version of going to the movies.
What?
I mean, it doesn't necessarily, they don't all give you cancer.
A lot of the butter gives you cancer. It depends on what they put in it.
But what I was going to say about that, too, is, like, I'd be just as likely to watch it in 6 months as, like, tomorrow. You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's streaming exclusive things I still haven't watched yet because I just don't care, and I'll get to it eventually. Whereas, like, with the theater, I want to go see it kind of right away to get that experience from it. And a movie like
Because
Venom...
it makes it special and it makes it feel like an event. You
Well,
know?
yeah, and you can watch Venom at home. I did. I watched the first one at home after watching it at the theater, you know, months later, but it's not the same. Like, a lot of those audio things are designed for the movie theater, you know, and stuff like that to make it even more interactive and interesting, like you said. So I just don't think it's a great idea to be, for these companies, how they're pushing towards just streaming. And it's like, there are a lot of people like me. I know there's a lot of people not like me, but there's a lot of people like me who just kind of aren't as excited and aren't as interested in watching it right away then.
Emiliano said they put COVID in the new popcorn, and I agree with them. That's why people are afraid to go to the movies. It's not
so-
because you'll touch anyone or go near anyone. It's because they put COVID in the popcorn.
It's so funny how the few times I've been back to the movie theater, it was so much safer than going to the grocery store.
Yeah, at the grocery store, at like places like the bookstore we go to, there will be people up our butts, like getting in our way. Like,
Oh my.
no, I'm not joking. Like, I will be near a man and he will be on me, and you will look at him with a dirty look, and it'll be pretty funny. But like,
Get
then
back
we
to
go
the
to the
action.
movie theater and there's no one there. It's like the closest person's 9 feet away, and I'm like, oh, I have space.
No, yeah, you do. I mean, you don't have to go within, I would argue, like, you probably barely have to go within 12 feet of anybody, except if there's someone a row or two ahead of you, you know, just sitting there,
Or
facing
if
the
it's-
opposite way.
Yeah, or if it's like the person who's giving you your popcorn behind their big plastic glass thingy.
Right. Yeah, I don't get what people actually think going back to the movie theaters is really like. I think they have some kind of weird, you know, characterized version of what they think it would be, but it's ridiculously safe, and it's kind of funny how they've, there's been like a mass hysteria around stuff like that, but people are fine like going to a closed store or something.
Jonathan Anderson said, my wallet is gonna hate me with 5 Marvel movies coming out in 5 months. And you know what? I'm very excited about that. As long as they actually come out, because we are yet to see Black Widow.
I'm getting a weird feeling that Black Widow doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'm getting a weird feeling that they're gonna eventually just, like, pretend like it never happened and stop selling all of the merch totally and just never release the movie, and if anyone ever brings it up, they'll be like, what? We never made something like that. What are you talking about?
Look at this glitch, by the way. I thought that guy was,
Standing up?
yeah, and webbed up that whole time.
Laundry Basket Gamer had said that this game looks genuinely awful, and I was thinking to myself, it doesn't look that bad. There is a few glitches, though.
It's pretty bad.
Places in Midtown East.
I've seen worse,
Can be targets.
but I guess you could say that about a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen worse too, but it's very bad. I'm literally just trying to level up this suit. For my trophies. Oh, there's a bomb here. I better take care of that.
Jay, are you more hyped for the Batman or the new Venom movie from Penis Cheese? Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, that's fine. It's a funny name.
If I can get near that
Definitely
bomb,
the new
I bet I'll
Batman.
sense it.
I mean, I'm not a complete moron here.
I'm really excited for Robert Pattinson. At first, I thought he was going to be a little lame, and then I started thinking about it more and looking at, what they've released for sneak peeks and stuff. And actually, I am really excited for him to be the next Batman. I think he's going to be a really good fit for the role. I've always really liked him as an actor, mostly because I'm a big fan of the Twilight movies. And I know that probably sounds silly to people because they're not exactly the best movies, but I still liked Robert Pattinson a lot.
That's okay. You're a girl. You're allowed to like Twilight.
See the Daily Bugle headline now.
So I was going to say, too, by the way, that that looks like a legitimately, unironically good movie, like, objectively. Like, well made. From
What,
that
Batman?
trailer. Yeah.
Oh.
Whereas, to me, Venom, as much as I'm interested in it, and I am excited, again, like I said before, it seems like dumb fun. It seems like Transformers Dark of the Moon or something like that, where it's like you're going to have a good time. There are some good things in it. Like Tom Hardy's performance is good. That's not bad at all, but there's also a lot of cheesiness and silliness just for the sake of being dumb fun. And that's okay, too.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's going to be a bad movie. I'm excited to see it, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be good. But I don't think anyone should have any big expectations for it being a super dark and deep movie.
No. I don't think so either. I wish that I could say that they should, because, that would be very interesting. Here's my question to everybody watching, so you kind of have given some of your opinions on the trailer. Do you think that this will ever try to tie into anything else Spider-Man? Like, for example, they're doing Morbius. They're doing, they're probably not going to do their own Spider-Man movie. I suppose they could, because they've talked about maybe bringing back Toby or Andrew or someone like that, on their own, too.
Toby would be awesome to have, another Spider-Man universe with Toby, and then also have the Tom Holland one in the MCU as well. Just have two going at the same time.
The only thing is Toby's so old, and I don't really think he's interested from what he said about, the movies and, what he's been up to. He seems more interested in directing at this stage of his career.
It would be an interesting take to see if they did a time skip into the future and showed older Toby and showed him and how it would be being an older Spider-Man. But if he doesn't want to do the role, nobody could force him,
Right, yeah, that's the only thing. I hope he wants to, but it just never seemed to me like he did. But yeah, that would be really neat. But I was gonna say too, with things like the ending of Spider-Verse, I don't want to get too into this, but Jill knows about this. There's a multiverse tease in that with Spider-Man 2099 and stuff like that, where they kind of point out there's all these different dimensions and stuff like that. Do you think that they could ever try and tie over Venom with stuff like that, even animated? I could see them
that would be pretty
moving
cool.
Tom Hardy Venom into an animated Spider-Verse sequel.
That would be really cool.
They could always do something like that. He doesn't have to be real life then. You could just animate him and have Tom Hardy voice him. There are ways to include this Venom with Spider-Man universes without it being Tom.
Toby Moorer wants to know why we haven't seen your wife's face. Oh, we should probably tell them I'm not your wife anymore, so...
That is what it is. No, it's just
I'm kidding.
It's just comfortability with the camera, mainly.
I don't like cameras.
Yeah, that's not a dig, but it's kind of like how T just doesn't like it. You know what I mean?
I will be in them eventually, probably, but not for a while. I just I don't like being on camera, or a lot of times I help edit a lot of these videos, and I don't want to have to look at myself for 20 minutes and edit a video. If that makes sense. You can do that, but I don't want to.
No, I get that. Yeah, he asked, not me. He didn't have to put it on me. What did I do? He asked. You read his question.
Toby Moore, stop asking. I'm kidding.
I texted Toby. I said, hey, ask her why she's not in the videos.
Yeah.
Point it out.
I don't think a lot of people care too much, because a lot of people have seen what I look like on, Discord or Instagram. But, there's also a lot of your fans who don't really care too much about the social media aspects of our channel, which is fine. That's fine. You don't have to...
I'm right there with them.
You don't have to be in the social media aspects, but I have shown my face before. I just don't necessarily like being in videos where I have to show my face, because it makes me feel awkward.
Well, trust me, I like the channel part of the channel better, too.
Every second counts.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not exactly a big social media guy. I'll like shit on stuff on Twitter because it's easy. Mm-hmm. That's about it. I mean, like I post on Instagram probably a couple times a month. It's fun, but like, not to sound like all I care about is money, but like you guys know who I am as a person and see everything I talk about pretty well in like, you know, the Let's Play channel and stuff. Like it's not like it's another way for you to get to know me or anything. Like you know who I am and you know what I care about and what I like, and I deleted my personal Facebook years ago, and I deleted my personal Instagram about a year ago, and my personal Twitter about a year ago. The only social media I have anymore is for the channel, and I only do it to talk to you guys sometimes, you know, like when you want to. Most of the time I just talk to you, you know, on the channel too. So I don't know, I'm just not really a big social media guy either. So like we have our different things. You prefer the social media side of your personality.
Yeah, I like the channel a whole lot, and I prefer this channel side too. But I when it comes to social media with things for like my Etsy and stuff, I love doing that. I love posting on Instagram and Facebook and stuff about those sort of things. Mm-hmm. And I like Discord a lot too. I like talking to the people who like the channel in our Discord. It's really fun.
Same. It's
Though
like,
I haven't had time to do that recently, which I feel bad.
No, I haven't either really, but I like the people. It's more just like the random side people you find who like want to not like make you feel bad, but like annoy you and stuff. It's like barely worth dealing with, like on social media, in my opinion. Whereas like here, no offense, like if someone's annoying, I can very easily mute or ignore them on YouTube.
That's true.
But like on Twitter, like I don't really like blocking people. I think it's kind of a bitch move unless they like send me shit. Like I think I blocked like 2 people, and it's because they sent me dick pics, and they weren't even. It wasn't even a beautiful dick. Like,
it wasn't.
If it was like a high quality cock, you'd be unblocked. You'd be in my personal DMs, you know. But like,
wow,
it was like a low quality penis, like short, stubby. You know, no one liked that. They the line from Fallout, everyone disliked that, was me rating that penis. So I don't know. Basically, my lesson here for you is if you're ever going to send unsolicited pics, they better be attractive to whoever you're sending them to. But you'll probably still get in trouble, so don't do it.
Let's see.
Oh, Jill, you know what I was going to ask you?
Oh,
What did you think about the CGI in the Venom trailer, by the way?
Oh, it looked very bad. Very bad.
Wait, you thought it looked bad?
Yeah, I thought it looked horrible.
Okay.
I mean, okay, well, we can have different opinions. I didn't think it looked, like, really bad. It didn't look as bad as, like, Justice League CGI.
Oh, the original Justice League?
Yeah, but it didn't look as good as, like, Marvel CGI.
I'm very much hoping that it's not done. But you saw the first one. The CGI in the first one I wouldn't say was bad.
No, the CGI in the first one was fine. I thought it was fine anyway. I haven't seen it in a long time. But at the time, it was fine. I'm hoping, though, that the CGI for this one's not done either, because it kind of looked cheesy.
Yeah, well, that's kind of an issue I have, too, with how they have to do stuff. Like, if Venom bites someone's head or whatever, they have to pan away, you know? Like, all this stuff, and then how will the CGI look with that? I mean, granted, it might look worse if you tried to have him bite someone's head off, but I don't know. I mean, I think that the first movie only had a budget of less than $100 million, which might sound like a lot, but it's not for a movie like that. Mm-hmm. I think it had a budget of, like, I'm going to say 80 or 90 million. I might be a little off.
Does this one have a higher budget?
That I don't know, but the first movie made almost $1 billion.
Wow.
So I would almost expect the CGI to be better in this one, but it didn't look better in the trailer.
No.
However, it might not be completely finished. I don't really know.
That's the hope, but if it is completely finished, that might be the...
I know I'd still probably enjoy the movie, you know, either way. I didn't think the CGI was awful.
Someone said the MCU CGI is awful. I kind of really disagree.
Some people really don't like how it looks like with Spider-Man's suit and stuff. I disagree too, but
I thought it looked incredible.
Some people really notice it. I will say, I think that certain CGI looks worse than others. Like, I think that the CGI where Tony Stark suits up in Infinity War by tapping his chest and putting on the nano suit, that didn't look as good as some of the earlier Iron Man CGIs because it was not trying to be liquidy. It was more just like a solid object. That's easier to render. But, you know, other stuff too, I do think that Spider-Man's suit doesn't look as good anymore as it did in the Raimi movies because those were all just practical effect suits.
Yeah.
You know, it was literally all right there, and now they CGI a bunch of the suit stuff. Not all of it, but a bunch of details. For, like, the Spider-Man suit are in CGI now, so...
It would be a bit better, I think, if they actually put the time into making the suit look like that in real life, so that way they wouldn't have to do nearly as much CGI work on it in editing.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it can't be that hard to figure out how to make it look pretty awesome in real life using, you know, whatever they want to use, fabric, metal, whatever, you know?
No, you would think not, because costume design is still a big thing. And there are practical effect Spider-Man costumes. I'm just saying a lot of details and stuff now are rendered in CGI for that Tom Holland costume.
Yeah, I feel like that's a little bit of a waste of money, in my opinion. But I do think the CGI, for the most part, in the MCU is pretty darn good. I think it looks incredible. Usually, I think the aliens look pretty, like, I guess, obviously they're aliens, so they don't look like you'd see them in real life, you know, but they look believable to me, if that makes sense.
Bottom of the river.
No, I agree with you. I mean, I don't think it looks bad. But, was anyone else talking about the CGI, or even that question I asked before about maybe seeing Venom eventually in a Spider-Verse or something else? Because I'm interested to see what they think. Sometimes they see things behind the scenes too, like online that we haven't seen yet.
Expendable Indigo says the Raimi suit did look the best. I have very mixed feelings on the MCU CG. Somebody named Jonathan Anderson said CGI should be an enhancer, not a basis.
I agree 100%, and that's actually one of the problems I have with new Star Wars, new Star Trek, and new MCU.
I completely agree with that one. Jonathan Anderson's he's top notch.
Unless you're doing a 3D movie, like with animation, like Frozen, that should not be the main basis of what you're doing. I agree. I think the sad thing is, like, not to say shut up and deal with it, because I agree with you, but we're sadly at a point where it's almost like I think the companies kind of think that way, of like it's easier for them, so they're not going to bother with a lot of practical stuff. But I agree that makes it look worse sometimes, you know? I mean, like, okay, here's an example. Look at the Incredible Hulk movie. The original. Like, not the one before the MCU, but the Edward Norton MCU one. Hulk doesn't look very good in that movie.
No, he doesn't. He looks really bad.
If you want to go back, I mean, you can talk about MCU CGI now, but, like, the problem with CGI versus practical effects is it doesn't always hold up. So, like, look at the Death Star trench run in Star Wars Episode 4, but then look at one of the special edition scenes that George Lucas CGI animated in like, the 90s. You know, CGI animation in the 90s. Guess how that's going to look in 30 years. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Awful. You know, that's the problem with it, is it ages. Practical effects, if they're done right, don't. You know what still looks great? Claymation. Seriously. Look at, like, freaking Nightmare Before Christmas.
That still looks incredible, and people still rave about those Tim Burton movies, saying how gorgeous they are.
It looks like it could have come out last year, like the HD port of it.
Yeah.
Just with, like, an enhanced stop motion type thing, but you know, they're not willing to put the work into this stuff anymore, which is frustrating, I think.
It is really frustrating, yeah. And also, I think Disney has so much money, it's kind of shocking to me that they would pour so much into CGI when they could also pour a similar amount into making something practical. You know? I mean, does it really matter in terms of the money standpoint?
The problem is that all these companies are like, I could make, you know, $550 million, or I could make $650 million, and it's easier. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
It's not as much about the quality a lot of times, and that's not just Disney.
That's annoying.
Yeah. There's been a lot of, the commercialization of movies, like, further than it was, has pushed them away from an art form and more into how cheap can we make this and how much can we make off it?
Somebody named Bailey Charlo said, how does one do the Hulk practically? No, that's a very good
No,
question.
I don't think you can.
I don't think you can either, but there are other things you can do practically.
Yeah, so I mean, you're right, but what I'm saying is, like, that movie coming out then, it looks bad now. Like, it looks very dated. And some things will not look as dated. Like, if you go back and look at Iron Man's suit in the first movie, it looks fine. Mm-hmm. It's not perfect, but it looks fine.
I thought it looked fine, yeah.
But the Incredible Hulk doesn't. So then you have to kind of, I would say, balance what should be coming out when and how. And if you're going to put that money into CGI, you really, really, really need to future-proof it as best as you can. Otherwise, it's going to make the movie not work as well in the future. Yeah. Age. Because, you know, people will look at it and be like, oh man, that doesn't look good.
Because the same thing happens with video games, too. The graphics age, like these graphics didn't age exactly very well compared to something that's brand new on the PS5 or whatever that looks incredible, you know?
No, it didn't. But what I will say about at least, you know, games is at the very least they're interactive experiences, so it's a little easier to ignore flaws when you're enjoying the other elements.
That's true. That's why we do play a lot of older games like Tomb Raider Legend and you playing Metal Gear. I liked Metal Gear too. I haven't played it, but I liked watching you. You know, there are a lot of older games that have a lot of charm with the animation and the graphics, and you can kind of get past it, but it's hard to get past with movies, so I do think they should try and future-proof them as much as they can. Obviously, with things like Hulk, you know, you can't get around the character too much, because he's pretty much always going to be entirely CGI, but, you know, with things like Spider-Man's suit, you can try and make it a bit more practical so it looks better 30 or 40 years down the road.
Well, and what's weird is not all of it, because some of it doesn't look that good, but there was a Hulk movie that came out a few years prior to that Edward Norton one, which parts of that movie actually look a little better, you know, so it's, and that wasn't done by Marvel at all. That was, I think, entirely as a Universal. So, I mean, it just depends on who's doing it and how different aspects hold up, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Let's see.
I guess what I'm worried about is that they are going to tone down Venom to the point where they feel like in the future maybe they can't do more adult stories with that character. And Venom should work for both, but it seems like they don't want to commit on the big screen to
do both, yeah.
To do both, and also to put all the money into how it will look and put all the money into the writing of making it a more mature story and stuff like that, which is why I'm cautiously optimistically excited. I went into Venom 1 expecting nothing. And I think that that's one thing that Venom 2 is going to have to live up to, you know, because I think everybody kind of went into Venom 1. They knew it was PG-13, you know, and they knew that it was no Spider-Man, no MCU connection. There was like a tentative connection that they could have made if Marvel chose to canonize it. They left it open enough, like, kind of like, hey, Marvel, please make this canon at some point. But we knew that it was just kind of its own thing. And I would say expectations for Venom 1 were fairly low. And people started seeing it and really liked it and just thought it was going to be, you know, maybe dumb fun. And it was, so they were happy with it. But I don't know if people's expectations are going to be a little too high with Venom 2.
Somebody mentioned She-Hulk, and they were kind of talking about it, like, I forgot, I missed the comment. Like, it kind of scrolled past too quickly. But, they were kind of talking about it, like, the She-Hulk would be in the MCU eventually. Do you think she will be, or have they announced that at all?
I thought they, like, tentatively announced their second time to use tentative recently. A short series like WandaVision.
Oh, that'd be pretty darn cool.
Yeah,
I love She-Hulk.
Yeah,
I'm really excited for that. Blood Demon Guy said, hopefully Venom doesn't just become a stupid, overused joke and quip machine. What do you think?
Yeah, I hope not. I mean,
At least the river can't
there's
get
stuff
any
that you
more
can do with, to, like, you know, charming stuff too. Like him calling Eddie Brock a pussy was funny in the first movie.
That was
like,
pretty funny.
I thought that the breakfast scene that they showed in the trailer was amusing and stuff like that, but he can't just be a clown the entire time either. He should be likable, but still somewhat dark.
I completely agree with that.
I mean, Jill, so I know you're in the chat.
There's one person who was, like,
understood each other better.
spamming a bunch of names about Red Dead Redemption, so I muted them. Sorry.
I know that you're, like, looking at the chat and stuff, but, like, what do you, like, specifically want to see in this movie that would really make you happy? You know, like aside from the R rating stuff.
Let's see. I would like it to be.
It's my lucky day.
Sorry if I put you on the spot. There's no wrong answer.
You did kind of put me on the spot. I guess I would like it to be the kind of story that obviously sucks you in, that has a deeper meaning. Something that is dark enough to feel like it makes Carnage feel like he does in other iterations, you know, to keep me and other people happy and make it very interesting, but also, you know, if they're going to go the PG-13 route, you know, make it still PG-13 if they're going to do that. You know, I'm stumbling over my words.
Not really.
But what I'm trying to say is if they're going to make it PG-13, I want him to still have dark elements and be interesting, like he would be in comic books or if he was in, like, a rated R movie. But they just have to work around some things, you know? And I want it to be something that I walk away from thinking, that was way better than I thought it was going to be. You know?
Well, what do you think about Venom, like, as a franchise? Do you think this is something they can keep making movies about? I mean, they're on the second one, but I almost in some ways think the first movie was, as fun as it is, a bit of a fluke. Because like I said, no one expected anything. And actually, a lot of people walked away saying it was almost like watching a superhero movie from 2007 in modern
It was
day.
like that. Yeah, it was. I completely agree with that. I think if they keep going down that kind of route and maybe put a little bit of darker elements in places that need it, they can make a really good franchise out of this and make kind of a nostalgic feeling franchise, and kind of make people have that reminiscent feeling of when they watched the Tobey Maguire movies, you know? That feeling of a superhero movie back then where it's like really good, but it's still fun. It's something you can go to with your family. And it's also got those dark elements in it still, and it's still really entertaining. I think it can be a really profitable franchise if they play their cards right, but the only issue is, are they going to play their cards right or not?
Yeah. What does the chat think about all that? And I mean, I guess also I was always kind of wondering, do you think that Venom could benefit? I know I sort of asked it before, but could it benefit from a Spider-Man connection? Like, being included in Into the Spider-Verse or some other new iteration of Spider-Man? Because I think Venom works here, but I don't really personally give a crap about, like, Morbius on his own, you know, or Silver Sable on her own.
Yeah, a lot of these characters need somebody to play off of, and Venom could very easily be that person, but I think it would be more beneficial for them to have a Spider-Man at some point. But I don't know, because we just don't know if Tobey's going to come back or not, or if they're going to get somebody else, or if they're even allowed to do that. There was one person who was saying there's a Venom comic where he works for the Men in Black, and they're implied to be the Will Smith movies. So I think that what they're trying to say is they want Will Smith in the movie.
That'd be kind of funny.
It would be kind of funny. I'd be into that. However, the thing with Will Smith is he always plays Will Smith, and Will Smith is great. I love the man. But is Will Smith going to work in a Venom movie? Is Will Smith playing Will Smith going to be a good Venom movie?
I don't know. I mean, like, I've kind of seen enough of Will Smith playing Will Smith for a while. The last time I was excited about a Will Smith performance, and I actually think he did a good job for this movie being bad, was in Gemini Man.
Oh, yeah?
I went and saw that, and it's interesting. So, like, there's about a guy, and then there's, like, the easiest way to explain it is he's kind of like a hitman type character, and then they make a clone of him that's younger to replace him, and then he has to team up with that clone of himself to, like, survive. It sounds stupid, but, like, it was an interesting idea, and Will Smith actually didn't just play Will Smith in it. It felt like he was a couple different characters, but the movie was bad, you know? And, I mean, most things I've seen of Will Smith since, like, iRobot have been pretty much the same performance. So I don't know if he did work.
I loved him in the Men in Black movies when I was younger.
Yeah.
However, there is one unpopular opinion I have.
What's that?
A lot of people hated the Aladdin live-action movie. I didn't like it either. It was pretty bad. But Will Smith's performance in that really carried the movie. I thought it was absolutely hilarious, his parts. And I wouldn't have been able to sit through that movie if it weren't for him playing the genie. I thought he actually did a pretty good job in it, even though he was just playing Will Smith. It saved the movie for the most part, even though the movie was pretty horrible.
I just feel bad hearing like a positive comment about the movie even.
Yeah, it's just I think nobody should like most of the live actions that Disney's putting out. But that Will Smith performance was genuinely funny, I thought.
Yeah, Neo Arcadia said, sadly, many of the Spider-Man related characters are so tied to Spider-Man, there's almost no reason to be excited when they get movies because they have never been good alone. I agree with that. I mean, you can do them alone in a universe where they've already played off of Spider-Man and developed their character more, and that works. So, like, Silver Sable, you know, like, you could do a story with her in the MCU, maybe, or something like that. I don't know, who care, but you could. But I just don't see the point either of doing a lot of them on their own.
What they could do, this is a pretty good idea in my opinion. What if they, instead of doing a Spider-Man with all of these characters, since Spider-Man's kind of being taken up by the MCU right now, what if they just did a Spider-Gwen? They had a Spider-Gwen come in in
I get that you like Spider-Gwen and so do other people, but I don't really think Spider-Gwen works that well without Peter either, because she has her entire origin story is tied to just being a mirror of Peter Parker. So without Peter Parker in the continuity, I don't know who cares about it.
Well, it could be the type of thing where you see flashbacks of a person who's playing Peter Parker and like how she ended up becoming Spider-Gwen and such. But then it could also be a movie about her standing on her own as a hero. I think it could be a pretty good sort of like a coming of age theme for a movie, if that makes sense.
I just think at that point they might as well cross it over with Spider-Verse, because they did that with Spider-Gwen and Spider-Verse. They gave her like a coming-of-age story along with Miles and these other Spider-Man characters.
To be fair, I didn't see that movie yet.
Right, but I'm just saying, I mean, like, there's no way you missed all the marketing with Spider-Gwen and stuff.
No, I missed the marketing.
Front page.
No, like, I genuinely missed the marketing for it.
I don't
live
know
under a rock.
I do not know how you could. That thing, I could not escape it on YouTube or Twitter or anything. Spider-Verse was everywhere for like 3 months.
I'd love to see that movie, though, especially if Spider-Gwen's in it, because I love her. But at the time, I didn't really care too much about Spider-Man, and I was just kind of living under a rock. And I didn't really see a whole ton about it other than hearing that people loved the movie. And I was like, oh, I should watch this at some point. And then I never did.
I'm glad you're safe and don't live under Iraq anymore. That's a good thing. No, you know, I get what you're saying, but I just think that they've already set up an art version of that character. I mean, like, if they're teasing multiverse stuff with their stories, they almost might as well cross them over there, you know, and instead of redoing it.
Yeah, I think something like that could be pretty fun, bringing in some Spider-Man other than Peter Parker or Miles, you know, bringing in something new that we haven't seen before on the big screen. You know, I know we've seen it in, obviously Spider-Verse, which is an animated movie, but we haven't seen, like, a live action of Spider-Gwen, which could be pretty cool.
Yeah, I just don't really know what they're trying to do, to be honest, with that, because I don't know if they're going to try and cross this stuff over. If they really want everything to be on its own, kind of like Neo Arcadia said, like, a lot of it I'm just not interested in. Like, Black Cat on her own, no Spider-Man, nothing else. All it is like Ocean's 11 or something, but with one character, you know? It's just a thief movie, so I don't really care. I've seen some ideas to possibly tie Venom in as kind of the Spider-Man stand-in, like him connecting these movies. I'd be interested in that. But it's very weird to me that we're getting a Spider-Man universe without Spider-Man.
It is very odd, yeah, but I think Sony's just trying to make some money off of the characters they still own. That's what's going on.
Yeah, I just think that it would be so much smarter to either MCU some of these characters or put them in like a shared multiverse and cross them over occasionally, like throw Venom in Spider-Verse 2 or 3, or throw you know, Miles Morales from Spider-Verse into a live action thing. Or you could even do this, you could even throw Spider-Gwen from Spider-Verse into live action Venom.
Yeah.
You could do that. You just cast a person instead of a voice actor as like a model who looks like Spider-Gwen.
I think that would be a fantastic idea.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I was trying to say.
Well, yeah, but you were saying, like, you know, a new Spider-Gwen. And I'm just saying, like, if they want to do that kind of stuff, why don't they just make use of this stuff they already own? Because they're or have started because they could also, sorry, I stole your phone.
They could use their Peter Parker from that too and do a crossover. Like, they don't have to have the same Peter Parker from other movies or from the MCU. They can have a new guy and just call him Peter Parker.
Also, people aren't stupid. I think people understand the multiverse. Like, I think that people can understand, like, Joker doesn't take place in the same universe as, like, BVS.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. You just have to, I don't know, tell them that. Like, that's how it always used to be. Like, Ghost Rider didn't take place in the Raimi Spider-Man universe, you know, and Iron Man was in its own thing until they started the MCU and all this stuff. That was the standard. I don't understand why they think they can't do that at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's just odd, like, how people have become so trained to need everything connected. I can't find the bomb.
Somebody wants to know, Jonathan Anderson wants to know who would play Spider-Gwen in live action. You know, honestly, I think they should get a pretty hot cosplayer named OMG Cosplay from Instagram.
She's a little too old, probably.
I love her. She looks awesome in her Spider-Gwen suit, and I think she should play her.
I don't know if she's a good actress.
That's true. We don't know if she's a good actress, but she's awfully pretty.
Pretty people don't necessarily make good actresses. There's actually a dozen names you could probably list off of models that became actresses that are bad.
You know, they could hire, what's-her-face again to play Gwen.
Oh, Emma Stone?
Yeah.
She is too old, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
like,
guess she
she's
is
really
getting too
pretty,
old.
but, like, they don't want to cast people that are above, like, 25 in these roles, usually, because they want to use them for
Like
years.
10 years, yeah.
And I don't think they can do that as often. I think that's why John Krasinski won't become Mr. Fantastic, despite people wanting that. I don't like fan castings, by the way, so I don't know who should play Spider-Gwen, but it's not that hard. You just find a good actress who looks pretty, who looks like she probably could be Spider-Gwen. You shave a little slash through her eyebrow like they had in Spider-Verse. You give her some piercings.
You put a nice suit on her.
Yeah, and you know, she's in shape, and there you go. I mean, I don't think anyone would have... there's a lot of people that no one would pick to play someone that did a good job, and that's why I don't like fan castings. Like, be honest with yourself. Most people would not have picked Joaquin Phoenix to play a Joker. He's, like, really old compared to, you know, what a lot of people would have cast. And,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
he did a great job.
Yeah, he's fantastic. And,
Yeah.
Marvel almost didn't cast RDJ as Iron Man, and they're like a huge company.
And now he's one of the biggest actors in Hollywood.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm saying is, like, not that you can't have your opinion, but it's very hard for me to come in here and tell you who should play somebody when, like, these companies can't even figure that out well enough.
Nayo Arcadia wants you to know that they think Gal Gadot, or Gal Gadot, I don't remember how her name is pronounced, comes to mind as a pretty model but terrible actress.
I like her as an actress, but I don't think she's the best.
I think she's a pretty good actress for the most part. I like the accent she puts on for Wonder Woman. I don't think she's...
That's just her accent.
Oh, well, yeah, I like her accent. And I don't think she's necessarily bad at acting. She could be a little bit more expression-y, you know?
I agree with that. Yeah, I do think that she's a little flat at some points, but I think it depends on what she's in. Like, you know, here's the thing. I think Wonder Woman 2 was just kind of not a very good movie in general. I don't think that showcased anyone's acting talents, but I thought she was better in 1.
Like, Chris Pine, in my opinion, is a fantastic actor, but since Wonder Woman 2 wasn't all that great, you know, it didn't really showcase him doing that great, you know? But I love Chris Pine as an actor. I think he's fantastic.
Well, that's just like what you said about Will Smith. I like Will Smith. I don't love him as an actor because I think it's kind of boring to just play yourself every movie.
I agree with that. I love Will Smith as a person, and I think he's pretty funny in a lot of things. But him just being Will Smith is like, not every movie needs that. You know, and even a lot of movies that he's in that you think would need it, don't need that. Will Smith should, you know, maybe move on.
You mean like not act?
He can probably still act, but learn how to portray characters other than Will Smith, or maybe just like help his kids' careers. I know this probably sounds mean.
I really dislike his kids, so like I prefer he just doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I don't like hate his kids. I don't like Jaden's music and stuff like that.
I don't like Jaden's music either.
I mean, he's probably a nice. I guess is he an adult now? I was gonna say he's probably a nice kid.
I don't know if he's an adult now or not. I think he's a kid forever.
I feel I feel that way about a lot of celebrities' kids, though, where it's like, I don't want to be a dick because I like this celebrity, and I wouldn't want someone to be a dick to my kid, but, like, I don't really think they're that talented. I think they just kind of are known because of their parents.
Also, is Willow Smith doing anything? I thought she was doing something, but I don't remember.
Getting Shane Dawson canceled?
Oh, is that what she's doing?
No, that was a joke. Because didn't Shane Dawson make some comment about her being hot when she was a kid?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe.
It was one of those Smith kids, and then Jaden and Willow got super mad.
Just to see the look on
funny.
his face.
And I just thought it was funny they wasted their time on some nobody YouTuber. But I digress.
Let's see. Expendable Indigo said it was weird how the actresses for MJ and Gwen switched hair colors for their characters, essentially.
For
she's got an
which
active
one?
nightlife.
For Zendaya?
Bad
I
guys
don't
love
know.
that.
I don't really understand what they're talking about.
Well, Gwen was always blonde, but,
Didn't Gwen have red hair in, like, the Raimi movies? Or am I thinking of Emma Stone in a different movie?
you're thinking of Emma Stone in Birdman.
Yeah, yeah. She also had red hair in, what was it, Easy A? I loved that movie.
I don't really watch movies like that too much. Like the kind of comedy,
She's in a lot of comedy movies that I really enjoyed, actually. I love her with her red hair, though. I think she looks gorgeous with it.
but I don't know. If you want to talk about MJ, the whole MJ thing is just odd right now. I like Zendaya, but she's not. It doesn't really seem like she's playing Mary Jane Watson. She's playing someone else. You know what I mean?
It kind of does feel like that. It feels like she's playing somebody whose name is MJ but isn't Mary Jane.
Exactly. That's what it is. I think they even said her name was something different. I don't really remember what it
If I
was.
don't end this standoff, people are gonna die.
But
That'd be interesting, though, to keep it open to see if somebody like Mary Jane could come into the movies at some point. If something happened to MJ, whatever her name is. I mean, they could call her, like, Michelle Jansen.
her name is Michelle. I thought it was
is it?
Michelle Jones.
Oh,
That's
I just
what it
made
is.
that up.
No, but I think it is Michelle Jones in the MCU or something.
Oh, I think
like
maybe,
that.
yeah, I kind of remember that now. But
But they say like, oh, my friends call me MJ.
But I don't know, that makes it open enough to where they could bring in a Mary Jane at some point, or bring in like a Gwen at some point if they really wanted to.
It'd be kind of funny to like bring in. Oh, I'm also MJ.
Yeah, it would be kind of funny actually.
What time is it, Jill?
It's 8:49.
All right, we're gonna end the live stream soon because I'm trying to make these live streams more to the point, and on this channel and not just.
You're gonna end the hype stream. Hype.
Well, I feel like no one's talking about Venom anymore.
No, I don't have a whole lot to say about Venom anymore. I mean, we talked about the trailer. We talked about how hot Tom Hardy is. Oh wait, we didn't mention that. Tom Hardy's pretty hot.
What about Woody Harrelson? I don't know if he.
Not that hot.
No, but he's a good actor. But I don't really understand how he fits Carnage. His like wig was so bad in the end scene of Venom 1.
Yeah,
he looks better now.
His wig was not very good.
No, it looked horrible. He does look better now in the the footage we've seen. And I think that he could be very interesting as Carnage. I'm just worried. And also, are they going to kill Carnage after one movie? Like, really? Like,
That would be annoying.
Like, Riot? Totally. Get rid of Riot. No one cares. Like, he died in the first movie. He was just a nobody. But Venom? Or, I'm sorry, Carnage, or
Carnage is a pretty big character to just get rid of.
Right, and that's what it seems like Sony is good at, is, like, introduce our character for, one movie and then murder them. Like, they've always kind of done that.
Yeah.
I don't really know how they're going to do a good job with that character, I guess, in one film if they might not even have him around after this. And who knows, maybe they will, but it just seems... I'm skeptical of that, too.
Cole Good says they should bring back the rolling down the street like a turd in the new Venom movie.
Like a turd in the wind.
I thought that was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny.
There's somebody else who said something too.
Did they say how great this game is? Because I agree.
I don't think they said that.
Fantastic, isn't it?
Oh, somebody asked, I forget his name, but I remember the comment now. He asked what game we're gonna play next on the Let's Play channel.
Like, play through?
Yeah.
We are almost done with Gone Home, but we haven't started posting it yet. We're kind of waiting to finish either Assassin's Creed or Tomb Raider. I'm sure Tomb Raider will be first because it's shorter.
Tomb Raider is kind of a long game in general, though.
It is, but it's a lot shorter than Assassin's Creed 2,
That's true.
of which I've recorded like 6 or 7 like hour and a half parts so far. So
We have to finish that. We gotta play some of that today, after dinner.
we probably should today or tomorrow. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I'm hungry.
Are you hungry?
I'm hungry and I'm going to protest.
Does anyone have anything else big to say about Venom? Your excitement, what you want to see, potential crossovers, anything like that? We're gonna have this stream in a little less than 5 minutes.
Cole said Venom should eat Eminem in the new movie. I completely agree. Cole, you should be a director. You're fantastic.
And then he sings.
Yeah, and then he goes, Venom, 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 Venom.
And he's like, it's a spiral, it's round, it's a spiral.
No,
I'm
that's 21 Savage coming
it's
in.
a spiral, I'm round, I'm fat. It's a spiral.
Number one Spidey fan said, I hope Carnage sounds like he did in Ultimate Spider-Man and the Maximum Carnage game.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
That
I
would
need
be
to play
very
the
cool.
Ultimate Carnage game, but it's really expensive to get a physical, and I don't like
I'd like to play
torrenting
that
stuff,
with you.
like ROMs. It's a good game. It's a good game, but it's a beat 'em up like you know when me and Chris played Turtles at the video game store the other day. It's Maximum Carnage is like that. It's a beat 'em up side
Oh,
scroller.
it's kind of like an arcade game?
Yes.
I love arcade games.
It's like a beat 'em up side scroller on modern day tech. Oh, well, I guess it was on the Genesis. It's not modern day, but it's in the home instead of in an arcade. I don't know what's going on here.
Someone named Shaw wants me to play Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Why do you keep saying someone named instead of just saying Shaw?
I don't care.
No, I mean, like, I feel like you're alienating them.
I'm
here.
sorry for alienating you. That's just what I said. But I've played all of the Tomb Raider games. Like all of the new reboot ones, like Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And I've played a lot of the originals from the PS1. But I haven't played the reboot that we are doing that came before the newest reboot, which is Tomb Raider Legend, Tomb Raider Anniversary, and Tomb Raider Underworld. So, Jay has not played Rise of the Tomb Raider or Shadow of the Tomb Raider, but we will play those eventually after we are done with Tomb Raider Legend and Anniversary and Underworld.
I was too busy marathoning different cuts of Brightburn. I was watching the Vern cut, the Bright cut, the Brendan Breyer cut.
Options there.
I am a Tomb Raider super fan, and I absolutely love Lara Croft. And we have a poster of Lara that we bought online and framed and put in our room, which is pretty nice. It's pretty epic. She looks great.
It's pretty much just, oh man.
You know what? And if someday we have a daughter, we're naming her Lara.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
It's pretty much just the cover of Tomb Raider Underworld, the poster, so.
But she looks fantastic in those games, in my opinion. The graphics are dated, but Lara herself looks gorgeous. And she doesn't have triangle boobs in those. So you should check out the Tomb Raider Let's Play. A lot of people really like it. We talk about deep things in it. We get into, like, bullying and abortion. Listen.
Nate's mom.
Wait, listen, I know the abortion sounds a little skeptical. It's an interesting conversation if you want to go there. If you have your own opinions, everyone's welcome for opinions. We talk about, like, the racial injustices that happen in...
Jeez, like, why are you,
Well, we do. We've talked about racial injustices that happen in America. We talk about a lot of deep topics.
Not on purpose, it just sometimes stuff comes up when we're playing.
Yeah, but I think a lot of those topics are things that people are very interested in and want to hear our opinions on and share their opinions on.
Why our opinions?
Well,
Our opinions are no more important than anyone else's on that.
No, I know, but a lot of your fans like to ask you questions like that and
I know, it's weird.
and know what you think. So there's that place to know what we think if you're into it, and you are welcome to go in the comments and tell us what you think as well, even if that differs from us.
Nope.
No, I think they should be able to talk about how they feel, whether or not their opinion differs from us or not. And I don't want people in the comments to like go be jerks to each other, but I do think we can have fun conversations, I guess.
I mean, personally, I think it's funny when they're mean to each other.
Yeah, but I don't want this place to be like a
No,
place
I don't either, I'm just kidding.
where people go and feel like they can't say what they think, you know?
I want this place to be like Cheers, you know, where everybody knows your name and you always feel the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name. Look at this. I'm getting a blister from doing that yard work because Jill wouldn't help me.
You didn't ask me to.
She let me just go out there and suffer with my blisters.
Oh, speaking of Cheers, I think it's funny how anytime somebody says Chris's name anywhere when they know him, he just never goes to that place again.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like, if he told me once that if he goes somewhere and, like, people start to know him there, like a cashier knows him by name, or if somebody says, oh, I like your, I don't know, Call of Duty Warzone bag, he just won't go to that place again because he doesn't like the attention.
Wait, really? He told you that?
Yeah, and I thought it was really funny.
I didn't know that. I thought you were talking about, like, Chris Redfield from Resident Evil or something. I was like,
No.
what?
No, I mean, you already mentioned him earlier, so I thought I could mention him too.
Oh, yeah, speaking of Chris, he's,
Our friend.
Yes, but somebody asked when he was going to be back on the channel, because he's actually not anymore. I don't even think he's on anything on the main channel anymore. He's on
No, I don't think so.
He's on some stuff that got privated for Patreon just because it was, like, really old and cringe, not because of him, because of me. But he wants to come back on the Let's Play channel, I know at least, and...
That would be really fun. I'd love to have him.
What is with the interruptions here?
I'm sorry.
Are you going to let me finish my thought?
I just get excited.
You going to let me finish my thought?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. I don't want to anymore. Now they'll never know what we're going to play.
What are you gonna play?
It's all Jill's fault. Blame
sorry.
her.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. I think we're going to play Castlevania.
Are people gonna learn
I
it's Spider
think we're going to play
hyphen man?
Super
I think it's
Castlevania 4, I think, or one of those.
That'll be fun. I can't wait to watch that.
Yeah, just like a classic Castlevania. We're not going to play the NES ones like 1 and 2 because I don't really enjoy NES games that much, but that's my controversial opinion. Up there with not really liking Uncharted that much, so I get a couple of those, right?
Pizza Time said, I bet Marvel's Spider-Man 2 will look like that. Will look like that Be Greater CGI trailer.
Oh, yeah, like the, there was a Be Greater CGI trailer for
Oh, I
Spider-Man
thought they were just
and
having
for-
bad grammar.
Oh, no, and for Miles Morales and stuff, it was really good. I hope
What
so.
was I aiming for?
Also, Jonathan Anderson, he said, I've started the Batman animated series, and it's a little overhyped, but it's alright, and I imagine he wants to know what your thoughts are on it.
Oh, I mean, I really like the series, but I agree with you that, like, people act like there's nothing wrong with it or, like, every episode's good, and that's not the case. Like,
We skipped a lot of them.
I skipped them because I've seen them.
Yeah,
And-
and you said they were just boring and
worse?
didn't further the
Wedgie
plot,
or
and we didn't
people
have to
seem
watch
to
them.
Like,
Costume
I've got
modified.
Batman in my basement and Heart of Steel and ones like that. Yeah, they're just bad, so... I don't know. It's a
Oh.
good series, but it's certainly not the piece of perfection some people make it out to be. There's some bad episodes.
Drake Jackson says, do you think that Venom could fit into the Marvel's Avengers? Please, I'm begging you, read this. Also, where is Nate?
I think it matters more if I could fit into Venom. The answer is, I hope so. Let's find out.
Well, I mean,
But-
you are a bit big. I don't know.
But,
it depends on how smaller.
You know, here's the thing with Venom in the Avengers. I do actually think he'd work because he's not like this evil character or like a ridiculously I don't know, dark character, so like it would work, but I do think it would be really random and weird. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to retcon in all of the Venom movies into the MCU after the fact? That'd be weird. You know, like, I feel like if they were going to do that, they would have had to have done that after the first Venom. Like, be like, hey, Sony, like, let's work with you and say this took place in the MCU. Okay, fine. You know, like, they would have had to have done something like that, and they never did. So now the second movie's coming out. Unless you introduce another Venom in the MCU in some other way, I just feel like it would be odd. So yes, but I don't think it'll happen. I guess is my answer. Jill wants me to end the live stream.
Well,
She's hungry.
I wanted to say, you know, before we end the live stream in a couple minutes, if there is any last minute super chats anyone wants to put out, this would be a great time. I'm just kidding. But, you know, I do agree with you on what you were saying about that. I think it would be interesting to actually have a Venom video game at some point.
Yeah, you know, they kind of did. With...
I mean, a better one.
Well, no, I mean, they did do some good ones. Like, Maximum Carnage is a good Venom game. It's a Venom and Spider-Man game. And then...
That's true. I haven't seen that one, but I heard from that other guy it was good, so I'm excited to play that with you. But I'd like, I think another Venom game, too, to, like, push Venom as a character would be pretty cool, too. Yeah.
Yeah, another one that people don't always remembers the Ultimate Spider-Man game, one of the, like, a lot of the game you play as Venom. But,
Ooh, that's cool.
you know, it's pretty old, so yeah, there's nothing really modern day with that. I think the last big symbiote thing in video games was, I guess, Web of Shadows back on PS3 and 360. They've kind of not done a lot with the symbiotes in the Spider-Man games. And I guess I'm personally a little skeptical about how he'll be if he will be introduced and how he would be in the second Marvel Spider-Man game, because it looks very different from classic Venom, but so do the movies, and people have been enjoying them, so that doesn't really mean anything.
Somebody said, oh, this is Cole Good. He said, Spider-Man's villains aren't that interesting in my opinion.
I think some of them are, some of them are really not. Like, I think you have people like the Jackal, which was like a ridiculous villain that is not very good. But then you do have like very good villains like Carnage, Venom, Green Goblin, you know, characters like that. And I think there were a lot of characters introduced through Spider-Man lore that are very interesting, like Toxin, even though they've done nothing with him in like the last 10 years of comics. He was Carnage's son. Like, he was you know how Carnage came from the Venom symbiote? It's like the offspring of it. Well, the offspring of...
Oh, so is Venom his daddy?
Kinda, yeah. The offspring of the Carnage symbiote is, like, the Toxin symbiote, and for a while it was on, like, a police officer, and he was, like, kind of a anti-hero, superhero type guy called Toxin. It was really interesting, and then eventually they killed him off and just never did much with him again, which was kind of a shame, but there have been really good characters to come from Spider-Man lore. I think the problem is that Spider-Man, like Batman, likes to recycle and reuse the same idea every year over and over again, instead of either introducing new good ideas or
time's ticking.
Going back to good old ideas. They just kind of reuse the same few things in a lot of the comics over and over, and it's a shame. I mean, we even saw this with like Superior Spider-Man. His arc is over, and then they like clone him and bring him back just to continue it. It's just shit like that Spider-Man comics and stories do all the time. That's annoying.
Drake Jackson is going to die if you don't answer this. Have you seen Invincible?
No, I haven't. I want to, but we haven't.
Well,
had
you've
time.
just disappointed him.
But I answered him. I thought he was going to die if I didn't answer.
You've disappointed the man.
I wanted to watch that with you. It's a superhero series. It's animated.
Ooh,
fairly short.
I like watching things.
Right now, we're in the middle of South Park. Actually, we finished season 1. We've been watching those over time. We want to start The Simpsons, because Jill hasn't seen a lot of classic Simpsons.
Speaking of South Park, do you want to go eat?
Yes, that's very related to South Park, but I would like to go eat. But hey, everyone, thank you for joining the stream. We appreciate it. It was originally going to only be an hour. It ended up being an hour and 25, so thank you for joining us. We appreciate having you here.
Good night.
We hope you have a fantastic day, and we hope you're excited for Venom, Venom, Venom. It's a spiral, and it's Venom, and it's round, and it's Venom, round, Venom, round, round, big long Venom.
Yeah.
Suck my Venom.
I like
put
Carnage.
my Venom in your mouth. I've got Venom. Venom, Venom, Venom.